Okay, so a quick recap of effective sentence structure. We've been talking about this repeatedly. It all comes down to subjects and verbs. So you know that you have to have a subject and a verb in order to have a complete sentence. That's what makes up a sentence. Without a subject or without a verb, you have your first problem that is known as a sentence fragment. If you have a sentence fragment, you are missing a subject or a verb. It's going to feel very fragmented. It's going to feel very isolated. Your other problem that you could have is you could have what's called a run-on sentence. A run-on sentence is where you have too much. Fragment is too little. Run-on is too much. Some examples of a fragment. Ran to the store doesn't have a subject. Because it is missing either a subject or a verb, it's a fragment. You can also have a fragment where you have a conjunction that doesn't connect to anything. For instance, because I ran to the store, you have your conjunction because, but it doesn't connect to another phrase, and it leaves this dangling. You can even hear, because I ran to the store and nothing happens. So you have to have some sort of connection in order to fix this fragment. That goes for any of your subordinating conjunctions. It also goes for all the fanboys or coordinating conjunctions, for, and, nor, but, or, yet. So for run-on sentences, a lot of the times what happens is what's called a comma splice. So instead of using a conjunction like because or any of the fanboys, you just throw a comma in there and say, oh, well, we're done. So I ran to the store, comma, I bought milk. That's a run-on sentence because what we tried to do is we tried to smush two sentences together without using a conjunction. So some of the ways you can fix this is, first off, you could make it two sentences. I ran to the store, I bought milk. Now, because these sentences are very short, that's a very terse, very blunt statement. So you might want to try something else. Your first fix could have been making it two, or you could add a conjunction. I ran to the store and I bought milk. You could add any of those conjunctions. Or finally, you can use a semicolon in the middle. But here's the important part. For anytime you use a semicolon, you have to make sure that you have a subject and a verb on both sides of the semicolon. If you don't have a subject and a verb on both sides of the semicolon, you cannot use this. Let's see if it works. I have a subject, I have a verb, I have a subject, I have a verb. In this case, a semicolon will work. One of the things that they like to throw on tests a lot too is if you put however in the middle of a sentence, it does need to use a semicolon. So if you come to a test question and it has comma, however, comma, this first one needs to be a semicolon. So it could be I ran to the store, semicolon, however, they were out of milk. That would be the proper use of a semicolon. You have a subject and a verb on both sides. But basically look for this word because it's one of the favorite ways that they throw it on test. Put the semicolon before however, put a comma after however. Just also remember your conjunctions, your for, and, nor, but, or, yet, and so. Those are your coordinating conjunctions. Those can often be used in the middle of sentences, but then you've also got subordinating conjunctions that sometimes can go at the beginning. So because, or although, or since. Words like that are subordinating conjunctions and can be used at the beginning. So if you're looking for a fragment or if you're looking for a way to connect it, remember that conjunctions don't always go between the two phrases. They can sometimes go at the beginning, but you still need to connect them to somewhere. Because I ran to the store is not a complete sentence because it has because. If it was just I ran to the store, that's a complete sentence. But this conjunction doesn't connect to anything, and if it doesn't connect to anything, it's a fragment.